Museum of History Studios. You're listening to Addressing Gettysburg.
As soon as the change of the point of attack became evident, I ordered a flank attack upon the enemy's column. I saw another rebel column charging immediately upon our left. Colonel Vesey of the 16th was at once ordered to attack it in its turn upon the flank. Louis Trott is with us. It is time, ladies and gentlemen, for our April 20th Get Out of the Car tour, the Vermont Brigade on Cemetery Ridge. Louis, our fifth year? Fifth.
Could be. I'd have to think about that.
When did we start this?
A long time ago. I remember the first tour very vividly. I just can't remember.
That was the Atchison Rock.
17.
What?
It was probably 2017.
No.
You don't think it was 2017?
I had started this in 2018.
Are you sure?
It was, you know what, I know when it was.
2018 then.
It was 2020. It was 2020 because we were just let out of our homes. They had just unlocked us from our home prisons. And
because one of those was virtual that year. We sort of did a walk through the wheat field.
Right.
Yeah.
That was April. No, that was May. We canceled we canceled April, and then May we did video, but then we had, bad connection, so that didn't really work out too well. And then June was the first one that we had, and that was 2020, and that was down in the Valley of Death. It was at the Mozart Regiment.
Yeah.
Right? That's what it was. So that was 2020, so this is 2024. It's 2020, 21, 22, 23. So this is our fifth year. Fifth year. Wow.
Moving right along.
Yes, exactly. And of course, they start at 10 a.m. April 20th is the date. So tell us now, the Vermont Brigade on Cemetery Ridge. First of all, you like to do themes, and not necessarily themes, but you like to make some of the tours connect with a previous one or whatnot. So what are you thinking this year for this year's roster of tours?
I don't necessarily know if they'll connect. For this year, though, what is different from the past is we're doing 3 tours on the actions of 3 individuals. Where previously it's been on units, generally brigades. So that's going to be a little different. I can't remember what I was thinking when I thought up every one, but I don't know if we have the connection like we had in the past.
Okay.
Where there's a follow-on story, if you will.
So you're focusing on individuals
for 3 of them.
For 3.
And then we've done a lot of brigades. Yeah. We're running out of brigades. So I'm looking for something that's
good
different.
Thing there's a couple hundred regiments.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Now, I will say we're doing Vermont to start off with. At the very end, we are doing, what are we doing at the end? Wilcox.
Well, let me get
I believe it's Wilcox Brigade.
Yeah.
So that's in the similar area of the battlefield.
So, right. So you're doing kind of, different day where the fighting took place. We were talking about Wilcox's brigade. Oh, no, same day, right? What are you talking about? No, different day.
Different day.
July 2nd is Wilcox. Standards Brigade, Vermont Brigade is July 3rd.
Yes. So but I will, try to tie in. I'll bring up some of the third stuff with Wilcox as the bookend to the first tour. Primarily, it's going to be out their actions on the second day, but I will bring into what they did on the third. And so if you come to the first one and come to the last one, you'll have the knowledge of what they faced when they come across the field on the third.
So what can a visitor expect if they join us on our tour on April 20th?
Rain, hail, tornado, hurricane, tidal wave maybe.
That's a very good point, though. We've had the last 2 Aprils, and this is I love this. Not everybody likes this. I love getting caught in the weather. So like the 2 years ago, we were fine. It was sunny, partly cloudy, a bit windy. It felt more like November than April, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was chilly.
But we made it all the way to the end. And then as we were walking back to our cars, hail started to rain like bullets on our heads. And the wind whipped up. But it was the inaugural tour with our flag. And so it really got it got stretched out nice and everything. It was flying pretty hard. And I liked that. And so anyway, we all got stuck in that, but it was over by that point. We didn't get caught in the middle of it, during the tour. following year, last year, we got stuck. I mean, we had a downpour.
It came down.
Yes. We were soaked.
Thundering. It was a thunderstorm.
Yes.
And I don't know how many people stuck it out to the end.
We
Only a handful.
took 80% casualty.
Yeah,
we did.
We made the books that day, but I was proud of those people.
We had about 100 on the tour. We had 20 when it was over.
It got to where I had to put the notes up because Ashley's standing there with my notes trying to hold them and keep everything dry. It's not working. And I just got to fold it all up and just start talking.
Yeah.
Because it's it's useless.
Maybe this year, if that happens, because it really started coming down as we were arriving at the last stop.
Yeah.
So maybe this year, if that happens, we should just walk back and you can just yell the rest of the tour as we're walking.
Yeah. You know, but we stood there and watched it come. We saw the clouds building up. They're coming across
and
South
we heard
Mountain
the thunder.
Range. Yeah. And so we know it's coming. The clouds are coming towards us as we're walking towards the clouds. So we met in the middle up by the railroad cut.
Right.
And it was something.
It was something. So this year we're besides random weather. And by the way, just prepare for random weather. I mean, I know some people just can't stand to be out in discomfort, and I get that.
And you don't know, because the previous year when we experienced the hail at the end, the previous week to that, Ashley and I came out and I walked the tour. I'll always come out a week before and walk the tour. It was a beautiful day.
Right.
Sunny. It was warm.
I was like, this is going to be great.
The ground was fairly dry.
Yeah.
I'm trying to figure out how I can burn a trail through these weeds to get people up onto Stony Hill.
Not literally burn a trail.
I was stomping over as much grass as I could trying to make a trail. So it looked like a bunch of people had walked through there previously. So when I brought a group, I just couldn't do it though.
Yeah.
The next Saturday, it's wet, soggy, it's cloudy, it's cold, and then we get hit with the hail. So you never know what weekends, the weather's
especially April.
Yeah.
But it is it is the first one of the year. Which tends to be one of the biggest turnouts. It's usually the first and the last have the largest turnouts. Look, so I always look at it like this when we get stuck in the rain. I go, if I'm going to be uncomfortable for half an hour or 2 hours, if it's the whole tour, fine. We're talking about men who had this day in, day out with very little break from it for weeks, if not months on end, and we'd all go crazy, And so it's as a guy who never had the balls to go through this, it is the least I could do to suffer in the cold and the rain and the sleet and the hail and risk getting hit by lightning.
If it ain't raining, we ain't training.
That's exactly right.
You know what?
And so I present that as a challenge to all of you at home listening to this today. If you are saying, "Oh, I don't want to be out there in the rain. I'll go in May where it's got a better chance of being nice." Well, please come in May. We'd love to see you all the time. But let's not forget why we are doing this and why we are studying this stuff. It's because these people have done something that many of us, not all of us, because there were plenty of veterans in the audience, but many of us did not have the nerve to do. And so the least we can do to say thank you is to get just a taste of the suffering that they went through. At least that's the way I look at it.
My thing is, as long as I don't have to sleep in it. And I've slept in it. I've gotten up in a snowstorm before in Colorado. I've gotten up snow in Germany. As long as I don't have to sleep in it, I'm going home to a dry bed.
Right.
I don't care what happens during the day.
Exactly.
I might be freezing and cold and wet during the moment, but I know it's not going to last.
My boots might be making a sloshing noise when I step, but I have another pair at home.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm going to go home in an hour. So it's going to be cool. Yeah. And then, of course, we like to go to the Farnsworth house afterwards and have lunch, and we encourage everybody to join us for that. It's a great way to get to know everybody. So come out. All right. So we haven't told anybody really yet what we're going to talk about on the tour. So just give us some highlights, not of course everything.
Pickett's Charge is a big event that occurred during the 3-day battle, and it's if people come to the battlefield, they don't know a lot about the battle, they've at least heard of Pickett's Charge. Well, it encompasses more than just the Confederates coming across the open field towards the angle. They get pretty beat up before they get to the angle.
Yeah.
And I don't know if they're left out of the story a lot, but they're not given as much publicity, so to speak, like the 39th PA and those units that were at the angle. But these two Vermont regiments swing out on Pickett's right flank, and that forces him to divert some of his troops to deal with this. These troops are being taken out before they get to the angle. So this is telling the story of these other Union men up along the line who played a huge part in stopping or preventing the success of Pickett's charge.
I think the Vermont Brigade story is the coolest part of Pickett's charge, to be honest. Like, they just come out and not swallow them up, but I mean, they threaten the flank, and that does a number on them.
And then they turn around and they go the opposite way,
right,
towards the Floridians and Wilcox men.
It's just 2 regiments, right?
The 13th and 16th,
right, and they're wreaking all this havoc. I think that's pretty cool, and they're green, right? This is their first
Well, they're a 9-month They're one of the 9-month regiments, so they've got 3 weeks left. They haven't fought much, certainly not in any big endeavor like this.
Right.
My thing, it's like the 27th Connecticut going through the wheat field. Mm-hmm. You've got 3 weeks, and you're going home.
Yeah.
You're a short timer. In modern speak, you're a short timer, but they go out and give their all.
Yeah.
Despite the fact that they could die this close to going home.
Yeah.
And what does every soldier want to do? Every soldier wants to go home.
Of course.
That's the bottom line. So I said, they play such an integral part in what happens on July 3rd, but we really don't talk about them that much in detail. I might mention on a tour, these Vermonters came out. Pickett's taking fire in his right flank as they're coming this way. We know about on the other side, the 8th Ohio comes out. So the total group is catching fire from both flanks.
Right.
So I said, we need to give them some time and effort. Talk about their story.
I agree, and I think people are going to like it. It's as far as strenuousity. How strenuous
for the walk?
Is the walk for people who are concerned about that?
Not too much. We're going to go out into the field. 13th Vermont has an advanced flanker out there. It's not too far out. I can't figure out how many yards. I was out there on
50 yards.
Day. Yeah,
70 yards. Something like that. Yeah.
But
not even a football field.
This is not walking across the field or anything like that. It's fairly easy walk.
Probably won't even cover half a mile.
Probably not.
Right.
No shade. That's why I have it in April.
Very good.
I tried to determine what the weather's going to be like, the availability of shade, or how many people I think are going to be around this certain area. And that's how I put them in order. That's the only determining factor of that. So not too strenuous. Heat shouldn't be a problem. Bugs shouldn't be a problem, but you never know. It has snowed more this year, I think, than it did the previous year. So the ground's been frozen. Maybe we won't have bugs at that point, but just be prepared for that. But we're not going into deep weeds. Like, say, we did with Willard's Brigade. We got into some weeds.
Yeah, we got into the weeds.
I don't see us getting into weeds like that or anything.
Okay.
So,
all right. And like I said, keep your eye on the weather if you want to, but don't let it dissuade you from coming out and joining us. It is a great time. And again, great people. Like, it is really probably the one thing I'm proud of most is the people that this has all attracted, the people that come to our things. Like, they're really great people, and they come regularly to these tours. They know you know them. And it is a nice little community. And if you're new to Addressing Gettysburg, I do encourage you to come and join us and just see what it's all about and make some friends. And, it's great, especially if you're studying for the guide exam. If you're studying for the guide exam, this would be a great series of tours for you to come out to this year.
And ask a guide afterwards.
And you can ask a guide afterwards. That's right. Yeah.
I can't tell you everything, but I'll give you helpful hints.
I might not be able to tell you anything, but
that's one thing. I had somebody contact me that's a listener of your show and lives in Tennessee, wants to take the guide exam, and do I have a reading list? So I sent him a reading list, what I would read, and based on my experience as a guide and before when I took the test. So I do give out a lot of information on the certain subjects that you'll have to know as a guide, but it's all helpful. And let me say this, I am truly honored to do these tours. I think people have a wide variety of options. Contact Jim Hessler. I think he speaks better than I do.
Wait, I had to bleep you. What you said.
Contact the other guy with the other podcast. He speaks better than I do. We all know about Gary and Tim.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other guys that know a lot more than me, and I think can present it better than I do, but this group still comes out, and I truly appreciate that.
They love it all. Beth says we're live streaming this for those of you who are not patrons. We live stream these recording sessions on Patreon, and Beth Wheeler is in there, and she said we're a community, and that's what we are. That's what we definitely are. And she also said it was kind of fun last year getting caught in the rain with friends, and I agree. I had a lot of fun with that. Yeah,
it's a memory now.
Exactly,
it's a story. That's what life is. A bunch of stories at the end.
And those of us who were on that tour. We look at each other when we see each other, and we just one look and we know, and we cry together because we shared that.
April 2022. 23.
23. Yeah.
I had to stay, by the way.
You what?
I had to stay.
You had no choice. Yeah, I was paying you. All right. And then here's the other thing, folks, this year. We're going to videotape the tours. I cannot guarantee you that they will be out in a timely manner, however. They might not come out until next winter. So don't rest on your laurels and think, well, I'll just wait until they come out on YouTube. Maybe they will. Maybe the April one, I'll have the time to edit it and put it up. But I might not for May, and I might not for June, and they might pile up, and who knows. There's a lot of, in a good way, upheaval coming this year with Addressing Gettysburg as far as video goes. A lot of opportunities and things are coming at me that I'm going to, of course, take, but that's going to take up more time and everything. But video is a priority this year, and we're going to get out of the car tours there, and also a series based on it as well that I think you'll enjoy. But anyway, you can look forward to that. But again, don't view that as a substitute for coming out and joining us. I mean, of course, some people can't, and so this is for them. But and I'm not withholding on you. It's just I have a lot on my plate, and the time to edit them is the issue. So, but they will get out within the next 12 months from the tour.
You know what? Wintertime's good though, because you're not coming to the field.
And it gets you kind of wanting to come. Yeah, because you're looking at the nice weather.
Yeah.
That's why
I
you
wish it was like that outside right now.
Exactly. That's why I can't watch videos that are shot in the winter here. I can't. Anyway, that's it for this one, folks. So it's going to be, where are we meeting? We're meeting at the Vermont Monument on Hancock Avenue. So there's plenty of parking in that region. Just make sure that you park where legal. Don't park on the grass. All four wheels need to be on pavement. And, if it says don't park, don't park. You could park in the Ziegler's Grove lot or the cemetery lot and walk all the way down. There's parking by the Pennsylvania Monument. There's parking along the road. Just make sure it's legal wherever you park and don't park on the grass.
For a tour like this, where the location is, we know that during the summer months, they have the reenactors that come out from behind Pennsylvania Monument, go out and do demonstrations of some sort that attracts a lot of people. So I don't think they'll be doing it in April, but I don't know.
I don't think they do. I think it's after Memorial Day.
Yeah, I think so too. But just in case, I would suggest getting here a bit early in case there's something like that going on, because that takes up more parking, not necessarily associated with us. So it's a crowded place. We experienced that last year with Willard's Brigade.
Yes,
they were doing that demonstration. Right. So I had to stop down there and talk.
And that was May.
Fine.
That was May?
I think it was.
It was Memorial Day weekend. Yeah.
And I had to wait for them to shoot the cannon. I talked to Matt Atkinson beforehand. He says, you can't walk out while they're doing
that. That would have been cool, though.
And so sometimes it could create problems. But I'd get here early when there's, in certain places where they generally have events. I don't know when they're going to have these events. It just helps to get here early. So you can find parking, and if you have to walk a little bit to get to where the start point is, you've got time to do that before we get going.
There you go. That's it, ladies and gentlemen. Don't forget, April 20th, 10 a.m., meet at the Vermont Monument on Hancock Avenue. Park where legal, and we will see you in your galoshes and raincoats. Talk to you later.
Lightning rods.
Our hearts so stout have got us famed, for soon 'tis known from whence we came. Wherever we go, they dread the name of Gary Owen in glory. Instead of spa, drink down ale and pay the reckoning on the nail. No man for debt shall go to jail from Gary Owen in glory. Instead of spa, drink down ale and pay the reckoning on the nail. No man for debt shall go to jail from Gary Owen.